Good afternoon to one and all. This is Sandeep Shilvan, faculty of Triple E Department, ISL Engineering College. So I hope everybody is doing well, staying in their home, staying safe. So as you all know, the lockdown has been extended for further 20 days. So till then, everybody has to follow the same rules which were there earlier. Now I welcome you all once again for the online classes of BWE subject. As you all know, we have completed the subject. We have covered all the units. We have covered so many problems also. Maximum problems we have solved in the from the subject. So from today onwards, revision sessions will be starting. I'll be starting the revision classes of BWE subjects. Yesterday only I told you that you guys have any doubts regarding any topic in any subject, those all will be discussed in these revision classes. There are four revision classes are there. So all your queries, doubts, everything will be solved in these. Everything will be addressed, everything will be answered in these revision classes only. So make use of these revision classes in a better way so that you can understand the topic very well. Earlier you might have understood, during the regular classes you might have understood something, so here you'll understand something, so more clarity you will get. Okay, so try to get the doubts or try to find out the doubts where you are finding the difficulties, especially in solving the problems. First unit problems, everybody will be having, most of the students will be having doubt in the first units, like how to solve the problem, how to start the problem. So many students will not be knowing how to start the problem. So for all those, this is the good platform, this is the good time, you can say, utilize this time. So tell your friends also, those who are still not joined this online session, at least for the revision classes tell them to join, because revision classes will be more focused towards how to pass the subject. Okay, right? So I'll be telling you everything. Okay, ready? Then we'll start the revision session of BWE. So before that, just I want to inform once again, as you already know, again one more time I want to inform you that don't forget to mention your branch and roll number in the comment section, and please avoid multiple entries. One time you have entered your roll number and branch name, that's enough. No need to do multiple entries. Okay, here we'll be getting confusion, will leads to confusion. Will not be able to track exact roll numbers of the students. Okay, so please don't do multiple entries. Only one time roll number and your branch in the comment section, please type. Okay, so let us start the revision session. You already know we have 5 units total in the subject. So first unit is DC circuits, second AC circuits, third transformer plus three phase induction motor. Transformer plus three phase induction motor. Fourth is DC machines. In this we will be studying motor and generator, right? DC machines plus single phase induction motor. This is fourth unit. Then fifth unit is electrical installations. Okay, so these are the 5 units we study in BWE subject. So out of 5 units, I'll be telling you which unit is how to study. First of all, I will be telling you how to study BWE. If you want to study, which one we have to study first. In that, which one is easy, which one is difficult, those all I will be covering in this session. Along with I will be doing revision of first and second units. If time permits, second one will do. So see here, each unit is having 14 marks. You already know that. Each unit covers 14 marks, right? Out of all the 5 units, fifth unit is out of all the 5 units, fifth unit. If you want to attempt anything first, please start preparing fifth unit first. The easiest unit is fifth unit only. Easiest, then you can say scoring. Okay, because this complete fifth unit is only theory. There are no problems, there are no derivations, no problems, no derivations, nothing here. This is completely theory, and this is very easy to study, easy to score. Okay, so try to focus this unit first, because this is the easiest topic, and the important questions you can get in this unit are power factor. Okay, so power factor improvement is very important. In last exam they have asked 10 marks from this one topic only. 10 marks, he asked two questions, one for 5 marks, two, one for for 10 marks he has asked in the last question paper. Okay, this is the importance of this topic. It's very easy to score, hardly 6 questions are there. If you prepare those 6 questions thoroughly, all 14 marks will be in your pocket. Okay, so power factor improvement, this topic I already told you. Power factor improvement methods are there, 3 methods are there. Out of 3 you write any one method. Okay, using static capacitors I explained you. Using static it is there in the notes also. Okay, so then power factor improvement method, again he will ask advantages and causes, advantages and causes of low power factor. Okay, then next he will ask battery types and characteristics. This also he will ask battery types and characteristics. This is also important, right? So this also you have to study. Yesterday I have shared you the assignments for third, fourth and fifth unit. In the fifth unit, 5 LAQs, 5 SAQs are there. All you are, if you study all those 10 questions and consider that you have prepared the fifth unit thoroughly, 100% you have prepared those 10 questions, you prepare very well, that's it. Okay, 14 marks will be there in your pocket. Then types of wires. So these are the important questions from the, oh sorry, one more, earthing, right? So these 4 topics are very very important, along with those 10 questions. In the from the 10 questions only, these 4 questions I have given. So okay, these 4 questions you have to study completely, along with that those remaining 6 questions also, but try to focus more on these 2 questions. First 2 are very very important, 101% he will be asking anyone from these. Okay, this is about fifth unit. First, this is the easiest topic, try to study this unit first. Okay, then next second easiest topic is this transformers. Unit 3 is come after this. Second easiest topic is unit number 3, transformer plus three phase induction motors. Okay, This is also very easy. Problems are direct substitution problems you will be getting. Okay, just read the problems, find out the value, write the given values, write the formula, substitute the values in the formula, and solve the problem. So direct substitution problems will be there. Problems will not be tricky. Direct problems will be there. That is why this is second easiest topic after fifth unit. You can go for any topic to the preparation means please go for transformers. In transformers in unit 3, in unit 3 I'll be telling you important questions. It's not like you have to study only these questions. Whatever you want to study from the topic you study, but along with that make sure that you should not miss these questions. It's not like you have to study only this. I'm clearing here itself. Okay, you have to study construction and working of transformer. Okay, then EMF equation of transformer. Then next is ideal transformer on load, transformer on load and no load. Okay, so these are the important questions like LAQs you can say. So out of these three, third one is very very important. Transformer, practical transformer on load, how it works, and transformer, practical transformer on no load, how it works. So these two are important questions. Question number 3 is very very important. Chances of asking this is very more compared to these two, right? Study all the three, give more stress on third question. Then problems you will be asking, right? Practice the problems. What are the problems I have solved in the class, I mean you can say in online class, those problems. Along with them practice the problems from the textbook. I already told you VK Mehta, you can refer VK Mehta for solving the problems. Okay, then this is about transformer. Then next, in three-phase induction motor, it will be there working of three-phase induction motor. Then concept of RMF, rotating magnetic field. One small derivation is there. I derived the derivation by considering two cases, when theta is equal to 30 degree, when theta is equal to 60 degree. I derived in the online class. When if you are finding difficulties in finding the, if you are getting difficulties in finding the answers for any questions, simply go through my videos. You will be getting the answers there. You will be getting your queries answered there. Okay, and parallelly you can WhatsApp me also. I'll be telling you. Okay, don't feel hesitation in asking the doubts. Okay, concept of RMF, this is also derivation. Okay, then next, construction working of three-phase induction. Then types of induction motor. You know types of three-phase induction motor, two types are there: squirrel cage and slip ring. Squirrel cage and slip ring, types and their construction working also they will ask. Out of these two, anyone they will ask. Okay, along with this construction working you have to study these two. Then problems, you have to study problems also very easy in this. Okay, you should remember the formulas, that's it. Problems they will ask on synchronous speed, then to find the slip also, to find synchronous speed or to find the slip they'll ask the problems. Either you will be finding out the slip or you will be finding out the If you want to note down these questions, you can note down. I'll be giving you time, 5 minutes. In short form, you can note down the questions. Or later on, I'll take the snapshot of these questions. I'll send in the group. Don't worry. So these are the important questions from the unit 3rd. So first easiest topic is unit number 5. Okay, attempt this first while preparing for the subject, preparing for the exam. Then go for 3rd unit. After this, next easiest topic is unit number 4, DC machines and single phase induction motor. Okay, so unit 4. So in the unit 4, in the DC machines, construction and working of DC machine, construction and working of DC, either they will ask motor or they will ask generator. Construction is same. Okay, only working differs. If they ask for motor, write the working principle of motor. If they ask for generator, write the working principle of generator. Okay, then next, EMF equation of generator, torque equation of motor, right? Torque equation of motor. Then types of motor and generator they will ask. Okay, types of motor and generator they will ask. This is also an important question. Then problems. So problems they will ask. 100% each question in the exam will be having problem. Right? 5 marks problem will be there, 5 marks theory will be there. Each question carries 10 marks, right? Part B carries 10 marks. So each question will contain one problem for sure, except the last unit. Okay, that question paper also I will tell you, model question paper, how which unit comes in which question, which unit asks in which question, and which unit asks in which question number, that also I will tell you. So problems. Okay, unit 4 lo, this is DC machines. Then single phase induction motor. In single phase induction motor, construction and working of single phase. Then capacitor start, capacitor start and capacitor run. Two types are there, capacitor start and capacitor run. You have to study construction working of capacitor start and capacitor run. This question is very very important. 99% they will ask this from the single phase induction motor. Explain the construction and working of capacitor start induction motor or capacitor run induction motor. Anyone he will ask for sure. So don't miss this question. Then next you have, that's it. If you study these two questions from this, construction working I already covered here. Okay, so these two questions are important from the unit, from the single phase induction motor topic. These 5, then these 2. Okay, don't study only these which I am mentioning here. This is just to give you idea, to give you confidence that how to study. I am giving you the important questions. Along with this, other questions also you have to study. Okay, later on after the exams, don't come to me, sir, whatever you said that those are the important questions only, and questions will ask come from those only, so we studied those only, sir, we are failed in the subject. I'll not be responsible. I am just helping you that what are the important questions along with the regular questions. These questions also you have to study. Think is more stress you have to give on these questions. Okay. Then next, leftover topics are first and two. In these two topics, I can say you unit 1 is very interesting. I cannot say easy, but it is interesting compared to unit 2, because here problems are there, theorems are there. If you understand the theorems, you can easily solve the problems. So this topic is interesting topic. If you take my suggestion, out of all the 5 units, actually unit 1 is very easy from my point of view. But from the student's point of view, fifth unit is only easy. But unit 1, if you prepare unit 1 very well, there is maximum chances of getting all the 14 marks, because this complete unit is containing problems only, and in problems you cannot lose any marks. If you are attempted the whole question completely, means you'll be getting the complete marks. Okay, deducting the marks are very less here, because if you have done the problem correct, means all full marks will be getting here. But remaining all the units, theory part will be there. Even though you have written everything, means you'll be losing some marks because of the theory. Okay, because theory questions will not get full marks, so there are chances of deducting the marks. For example, in fifth unit you have written everything for 14 marks, means all 14 marks will not get, you will get 11 marks or 12 marks. But it is not in the case of first unit. Okay, so if you attempted all the questions for 14 marks, means you will get 14 marks. Okay, so this is the importance of first unit. So first unit number 1, you will be getting theorems, network theorems you have to study. 99% they will ask network theorems only. In SAQ, he may ask you theorem explanations like Thevenin's. Okay, Thevenin's statement he will ask. They will ask superposition statement. In SAQs I am telling, and he will ask Norton's. So study all the 3 theorems, prepare all the theorems. Okay, either in SAQ or LAQ it will come for 100%. Okay, so all these they will ask in SAQ. If only statement is asked, means they will ask in SAQ for sure. But out of 3, 1 statement will be there for sure in SAQ. Then next, problems he will be asking. So focus more on Thevenin's theorem. Practice more problems related to Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem. Okay, problems will be asked only on these 2 theorems. Asking the problems on superposition is very less. Chances of asking the problems on superposition theorem is very less. It's not like you should not practice, but you have to practice. But on Thevenin's and Norton's, 1000% we can say 1000% problems will come on Thevenin's and Norton's only. So don't miss. From the day one class, I am keep on telling you that focus problems on of the theorems. Focus on the problems of theorems a lot. Okay, whatever the problems I have solved in the class, practice those only, it's enough. Okay, because after practicing all those problems, you'll be getting an idea how to solve the problem. So in the exam, if you change the problem and ask in tricky way also, you'll be able to solve the problem, because you'll be knowing the method, you'll be knowing the procedure how to solve the problem. Okay, So practice all the problems which I have solved. That is also enough for you people. So only focus on the problems which I solved in the class. One time, two time, three time, try to solve the problem. First time, by seeing the problem, you solve the problem. Second time, try to solve the problem on your own. Somewhere in the middle, you'll get stuck, and you'll see again, you'll follow the notes. In third time, you'll become more perfect. Fourth time, complete perfect. Okay, this is how you have to solve the problem. Don't simply read the problem. Problem is not like theory. If you read, you'll remember. No. Problems, until unless you solve, until unless you write it two times, three times, until unless you practice it, you'll not be able to solve it in the exams. Okay, please solve the problems. Give 2 days only to unit 1. Okay, in that unit 1 only you practice problems on Thevenin's Nortons two times, three times, two times, three times. So along with this, he'll be asking some basic definitions, like he will be asking Kirchhoff's laws, right? State and explain Kirchhoff's laws. SAQ, fix. Either you will ask KCL, KVL. If he is asking both also, it comes under SAQ only. Okay. Kirchhoff's laws is not of LAQ question, SAQ question only. Both the theorems also, both the laws also will ask only in SAQ. State and explain Kirchhoff's laws for 2 marks. He will ask. Right. Then next, loop analysis. Loop analysis. He may ask in SAQ or LAQ. He'll be giving you one simple circuit and he'll ask you solve the circuit using loop analysis. He'll mention particularly, don't worry. He'll be giving you the circuit, and along with that he'll be mentioning you the method of the solving, using which method we have to solve. Don't worry. Okay, he'll give you the circuit and he'll ask you to solve the circuit using Thevenin's theorem. He'll ask you to solve the circuit using Norton's theorem. He'll be mentioning the method with which we have to solve the problem. So no need to worry. Okay, if he has given the circuit, and he'll definitely mention that solve this problem using loop analysis or using mesh analysis. Loop or mesh, both are same. Solve the circuit using loop analysis or mesh analysis. He'll be mentioning the methods. Thing is, you should know how to solve the problems using those methods. Okay, that's it. Simple circuit he will give like this. He'll give circuit like this: 4 ohm, 5 ohm, 10 volt, and he'll ask you to find the total current. Find the total current flowing in the circuit. You can solve any method and you can find the answer. Until unless you know the basics, you cannot solve the problems. So this problem can be solved using so many methods. If it is these kind of problems, they will ask only in SAQs. How to find total current? He asked you to find total current. Find the total current flowing in the circuit. You know the formula: I is equal to V by R. V has given how much? 10 volt. R, total resistance. These two are in series. Add these two. How much it is? 9. So 10 by 9. 1.11 something you will get. So this is how we have to solve the problem. Try to analyze the given problem very well. Take your own time in solving the problems in the exam. Okay, don't be in a hurry. So first see the problem, understand the problem, analyze the problem, then decide which is the easiest and quickest way to solve this problem, then go for solving the problems. All right, and keep one thing in mind, that electrical problems are those problems which can be solved using any method. If nothing is mentioned in the question, you can solve the problem using any method if nothing is mentioned. Otherwise, using mentioned method you have to solve the problem, right? In SAQ he'll ask these kind of questions only. In part A, find the total current, find the total resistance, or find the total voltage. Like this only he will ask. In the next session, we'll be solving the question papers also. That session also will be there. In the revision classes, solving the question papers also will be there. Okay, don't worry. That also will cover. So this is about unit 1. Unit 1 is all about network theorems only. Study the theorems, practice the problems, study the theorems, practice the problems. Right. Then next leftover topic is unit 2, AC circuit. This is very lengthy topic. Okay, it requires more time to prepare. This is actually lengthy topic here. It is having lot of contents, but here also direct questions you will get. If you prepare all those, direct questions you will be getting. All 6 derivations are there. Here you have to focus more on the definitions, because in SAQs, LAQs, anywhere they will ask, they'll divide the questions and ask in the question papers. Definitions, it is having lot of definitions. This topic contains lot of definitions. So form factor, right, peak factor, power factor, true power, apparent power, reactive power, all these definitions they may ask in the exams. Define the following. So you have to you have to write the definitions, and you have to give the formulas of that expressions also you have to write. Then important is this NEO you will study. I will not mention in these in this, because NEO I am giving important questions now. This is not required. So derivation of RMS value and average value. This is very important question. He will definitely ask. Any one out of these two will be there in the exam. Okay, derivation of true value and average value and RMS value. Then 6 derivations are there. Pure resistor, pure inductor, pure capacitor, then RL, RC, RLC. So these all 6 derivations are important. We cannot predict that which one he will ask. Okay, so it is better you prepare all the 6 derivations, but make sure that if you prepare all the 6 derivations, one will be there for sure. If you prepare all 6, 5 marks will be there in your pocket, 100%. I'm telling you. Okay, if you prepare all 6 derivations, means 5 marks will be there in your pocket for 100%. Right. So this is the importance of these 6 derivations. So my suggestion to you is prepare all the 6 derivations. Okay, right. Simple derivations are there. Again, I have prepared the notes in again very simple way, so that you can understand easily. I removed all the theoretical part while solving the derivations. Only required theory part I have inserted in the derivation. Okay, I try to keep the derivations as simple as possible. Okay, next, that's it. Then problems. I can tell you that problems from this topic are somewhat difficult at your level, I can say. Okay, so problems are difficult for your level. For the student, these problems somewhat difficult, but if you practice, you can solve. If you practice, you can able to solve in the exam. If you practice these 6 derivations, solving the problems will be very easy from this topic, right? So this is about all the units. Out of 5 units, 5th unit is very easy. No problems are there, no derivations are there. Direct questions will be there. All the direct questions are theoretical questions which are there in the assignment which I have given you yesterday. Prepare those questions only. Those all 10 questions are enough. If you study all those 10 questions, 14 marks will be there. in your pocket for sure. Now I will tell you, there are some students, they only want to pass, and some students will be there, they want to score. So for passing students, what are the topics they have to study, and for scoring in subject, how many units they have to study, that also I am going to tell you now. To clear, see guys, focus here. To only clear the subject, I want to clear the subject here, I don't want to score. This is that kind of subject. If I pass this, that's enough for me. I just want to clear the subject, means unit 5, okay, plus unit 3 plus unit 2, okay. Study only these 3 units. Everything in and out of all these 3 units you have to study, okay, provided you should have 22 plus in the internal, then only go for only these 3. If you have less than 20 or 22, one more unit you have to study, okay. So if you have 22 plus in the internal and you want to only clear, these 3 units are sufficient. Now to score, obviously to score all 5 units you have to study, no other option. You have to study all the 5 units, no other option, right? And later on I'll be sending you important questions to pass, important questions to score also in the group, don't worry. At the end of last session, at the end of 4th class, I'll be sending you important questions to pass and important questions to score. Separate I'll send you, don't worry that also, right? So this is about how to study the subject or how to prepare the subject from the exam. I told you everything clearly. So one more important thing I have to tell you here, question paper. I'll be telling you how the questions will be asked in the question paper, which topic will come in which question and which topic will come in which question. That you see here, model question paper, you can say model question paper. Your question paper will be having, your question paper will be of 70 marks, okay. Your question paper will be of 70 marks, so it will be divided into 2 parts. Part A consists of 20 marks, right? Then part B is of 50 marks. This is how your question paper pattern is. Part A is SAQ, short answer questions. Part B is LAQ, long answer questions. It will be having 10 questions, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay. These two will be from first unit, these two will be from second unit, these two third unit, okay. Then 7 and 8 fourth unit, 9th and 10th fifth unit, okay. If you pass the, if you guys are appreciating me, okay, okay. If you pass, that is the real appreciation to me, okay. Don't put the messages like this, sir, we are blessed to have you, we love you, like this is not the real appreciation I want. If you pass the subject, that is indirectly or that itself is the appreciation for me, okay. The best, you have got best time in the history of this universe, no one will get, because No classes are there, no colleges, no college burden is there for you people. No headache of attending the classes, no headache of writing the records, no headache of shortage of attendance, nothing is there. Simply reading, you have got enough time, which nobody has got in the history, nobody will get in the future. You have got the time only to study, that to be staying at home, watching TV, enjoying AC, enjoying Netflix, enjoying Amazon, enjoying Hotstar, all those, along with all those enjoyment, you have got the time to study. So understand this, right? If you pass, that is only appreciation for me, I'm telling you. I will be showing you everything. This is not the question paper session. Question paper session I will be having later on. In the second or third session, I will be having question paper session. Don't worry. First, I will finish revision part. All the important parts I will finish up here. This is revision class only. How to study, that is important. What to study, everybody will know what to study. But how to study is very important. I am telling you how to study. If you know this, to reach the destination, everybody know how to reach the destination. Everybody know that uh, by road we can reach the destination, but which road we have to select to reach the destination, which is the easiest way, which is the easiest road, which is difficult road, that I am telling you here. Once you know which is easiest road, you can go. So this is about part A, first unit. From first unit you will be asking two questions SAQ. From the first unit means, you can say, definitions. Most of the cases definitions only. The here he will be asking Thevenin's or Norton's or superposition, right? So any one from any one of these three derivations, three statements will be there. Okay, right? In first, and in second question, KCL or KVL will be there, or one simple problem will be there. Simple problem will ask, like I have showed you, find the total current flowing in the circuit. So this is a, he will be giving. See here, if you study all the theorems along with KCL KVL means, you'll be getting you'll be getting 4 marks here also. Chances of getting 4 marks will be there here also. If not, at least 2 marks you will get. Okay, here if you get problem means one question will be there related to theory 100%, so 2 marks will be, you'll be having chance of getting 2 marks. Understand the importance I'm telling you. Okay, you will not lose anything anywhere, you will gain something. If you study, that will not go in waste. So from the second unit, again he will be asking two questions in SAQ. Here definitely both the questions will have theory part only 100%, or not, if not 100 means 99%. Definitions only, he'll be asking true power, apparent power, reactive power, or you can say power factor, or you can say power factor. Then you can say mm, then next here he will ask RMS and average. Okay, then in unit 3 he'll ask EMF equation, or you can say torque equation, right? Or you can say EMF equation, torque equation, or you can say ideal transformer definition, or you can say losses in the transformer. Any one of these he will ask. Then in second question, this will be from three phase induction motor. Here he will ask what is slip. What is slip he will ask, or what is RMF, okay, working principle, what is rotating magnetic field he will ask, or he will ask squirrel cage or slip ring. Anyone he will ask. Okay, or he will ask simple problem on 3-phase induction motor. This is the format. Okay. Then next, from unit 4, again he will ask, you can say types of motor, generator, types of motor or generator he will ask, and he will ask EMF and torque equation, or you can ask construction and working, or he will ask what is voltage regulation and what is efficiency, that also he will ask. And in second question he will ask, explain capacitor start or run, any one. Next, from the unit 5 he will ask what is earthing. What is earthing he will ask. Types of wires and cables he will ask. Wires and cables. Then advantages of power factor. Then in B question he will ask battery and applications of battery. So this is our part A. Then in part B it will be having 10 questions, sorry 5 questions, 7 questions will be there. Out of 7 you have to answer 5 questions. 1 A B, second A B, third A B, fourth A B, fifth A B, okay, then again sixth A B, and seventh A B. Out of 7 questions you have to answer 5 questions. So from the unit 1 both you will get problems for sure, I am telling you. One will be from Thevenin's, one will be from Norton's. That is why I understand the importance of unit 1. If you know the problems, complete 10 marks you can get very easily here. No deduction of marks will be there. All the 10 marks you will get here. And whatever the theory part you studied, that you will get here. That also will be covered in part A. Nothing will be wasted. Okay. So chances of asking the problems for both the questions will be 99%. 99% both questions, part A and part B, both will be problematic only. Theory will be very very less, right? In the first, complete problematic only. Okay. Next, in second, one theory will be there, one problem will be there. One theory will be there, one problem will be there. One theory, one problem. Theory, problem. Okay. This is standard pattern, theory plus problem, standard pattern. If your luck is very good, they may ask both the parts as theory only. If your bad luck is very bad, both the parts they can ask problems, right? So, but this is the standard pattern. One theory, one problem will be there, except first question. First question, both problems will be there. In maximum cases, both they ask problems only. Then unit 6. So here, sorry, you will be having only 6 questions in part B, I think. I'm getting confused, either 5 or 6. Anyone know about the part B pattern? 6 questions will be there or 7 questions? Is anyone have idea about exam pattern of part B? Part B will be having 6 questions or 7 questions? One extra will be there or two extra will be there? Does anybody know? If they know, please comment. Otherwise, leave it. Okay, 7. Hmm. And 6th and 7th here, you'll be having advantage of preparing all the 5 units. If you have prepared all the 5 units means that will help you in 6th and 7th question, because 6th and 7th will be combination of all the 5 units. Okay, all the 5 units they will merge, and those merged questions will come in part 6 and 7th. Okay, and one important thing, part 7th will be completely theory only. Maximum chances of asking the questions, maximum chances of asking 7th question is completely theory only. It will be having 3 parts. All 3 will be of theory only. 3 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, like this they will ask. All 3 will be theory. Mixing all the 5 units, he will prepare one question, 7th question, and all 3 will be having only theory questions. Here he'll be asking EMF equations, torque equations, then we'll be asking power factor method, then we'll be asking ideal transformer, or we'll be asking theorem, Thevenin's or Norton's. Okay, from all the 5 units he'll select 3 theory questions, and those 3 theory questions he'll be giving in 7th question. 7th question also will be completely theory. Okay, so here you will get the advantage of this 5th unit. If you studied 5th unit thoroughly, one question will be there in the 7th question. So here also you will get advantage. So here this unit will be having 14 marks, that you will write 14 marks. Then again in the 7th question for 3 marks, if you ask means 17 marks. So 17 marks, out of 17 you will be getting 13 or 14. If you have scored 25 plus in the internal means, and you have studied only one unit for the external means, you will pass. This is the importance, understand. Those who score more marks or good marks in internal, they will not face much difficulty in clearing the subject. Understood? So that is why I understand the importance of internals, right? So 6th question will be either they will ask both problems, or both problems they may ask, HEORY, or one problem, one theory will be there. But 7th question will be completely theory. You can go to the question papers also for more clarification if you want. Last question will be theory only. Okay, and maximum of asking the question in the 7th question will be 3 only. They will divide the 7th question into 3 parts. Okay, so this is about complete subject. Out of 5 units, which units we have to focus more, which is easy, which is difficult, what are the important questions, how they ask in the question paper. So all those I have covered here, right? Now we'll start revision of unit 1, right? In the revision of unit 1, if you have any doubts, please after this session, for next sessions after this session, if you have any doubt, please make a list of those doubts and send in the official group. You send it to CR, he'll be sending in the official group, and those doubts will be addressed in the coming class. Okay, until unless you ask, I cannot tell. So please ask the doubts. Like any, don't think that my doubt is cheap, my doubt is simple, so that other can laugh. It's not like that. Each doubt is having its own value. Okay, somebody will be having the doubts, sir, how much answer we have to write for this question? some more intelligent students will be there in ISL wallet. Sir, what is the answer for this question, sir? So those doubts also I will address, don't worry. Okay. First, in the revision from the unit 1, I already told you, study Kirchhoff's laws. Okay. So Kirchhoff is a scientist. He introduced two laws, KCL and KVL. KCL you already know, all the currents meeting at a junction will be zero. So the summation of I will be zero. Okay. Then KVL, all the voltages in a circuit will be equal to zero. KCL, all the currents in a circuit will be equal to zero. KVL, all the voltages in a circuit will be equal to zero. Summation of V plus IR is equal to zero. This is about KVL, right? So to solve any problem using Kirchhoff's laws, certain steps will be there. Those steps we have to follow. If you follow those steps, you can easily solve the problem. So here I have drawn simple circuit. This is 10 volt, this is 5 ohm, this is 8 ohm, this is 6 ohm, this is 5 volt. So we have to solve this circuit using Kirchhoff's laws. To solve the problem with Kirchhoff's laws, we have to follow steps. If you follow the steps, you can easily solve the problem. And you already know, to solve the problem stepwise using Kirchhoff's law, first thing we have to do is we have to mark the nodes. How many nodes are there in the circuit? First we have to mark the nodes and we have to name them. You name them in any way you want. You can give 1 2 3 4 5 6, or you can give ABCD. So here node means where more than one line is meeting. So A B C D E F. So this is how we have marked the nodes. Next is what we have to do. One more thing before start applying the method, you should know that KCL is always applied to node and KVL is always applied to mesh. So after marking the nodes, we have to assign the directions of the currents which are flowing in each branch. In between two nodes, one line is there, means that is branch. Okay. So always start assigning the direction of the currents from the battery source. From here you can assume that I1 is flowing and same current will come up to this node, and here again parallel connection. So this current gets divided. So one current will go here, another current will go here. So this current you name it as I2 and this current you name it as I1 minus I2. So this same current I2 is coming up to here. Here also these two are in series, so same current will come here also. So the same current will flow in this path branch also. When it comes here, again one is coming from here and is going here. So from here what current is coming? I1 minus I2 is coming. So I1 minus I2 is coming from here. I2 is coming. So incoming currents we already know positive have to take. So this get cancels. Which currents remains here? I1. Okay. So marking of direction of current is over. Next step is we have to select how many loops are there. How many loops are there? Loops means closed path. This is one closed path, this is another closed. Two loops are there. So this is first loop and this is second loop. So always consider the directions of the loops, directions of the currents in clockwise only. Okay. We have to assume current is flowing in clockwise only in the loops. You can consider in anti-clockwise also, but universally we are selecting clockwise only to avoid the confusions and all. So always consider clockwise direction only. If you consider this as clockwise, this also should be in clockwise only. Both should be in one direction. That is called as arbitrary direction. Select the direction of the currents in arbitrarily manner. Arbitrarily means in one constant direction only we have to select. Okay. Then you have to apply. You know how to apply Kirchhoff's laws. So always start from the battery. So 10 because it is in your direction is clockwise. Before that, apply KVL to loop 1. To this loop we are applying the KVL, and your direction is clockwise. In your direction, observe the directions of the currents. If current is in the same direction, negative sign. If current is in the opposite, positive. And in your direction, if battery is voltage is rising, positive. If voltage is dropping, means negative. So you are going from A, B, E, F. Loop 1 is of A, B, E, F, A. So from here you are going in your direction, current is also in the same direction. So what you have to do, you have to take minus. So minus 5I1, and here again current is in the same direction. Your direction is B to E. In your direction, current is also same. So again we have to take negative sign. So minus 6I1 plus 6I2. Again E to F, no element is there, leave it. Again F to A, voltage terminal is there, and from F to A, voltage is rising, negative to positive. So plus 10 is equal to 0. This is how you have to write the equation. After writing the equation, you have to solve. Same for loop 2 also. For loop 2, again B to C is your direction. So minus 8I2. C to D, voltage is dropping from positive to negative. So you have to take minus sign. So minus 5. Again E to B, current is in the opposite direction. You are going from E to B, but current is coming the opposite. So positive. So plus 6 I1 minus 6 I2 is equal to 0. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. You have to solve these two equations. After solving, you will be getting the value of I1 and I2. So this ends your problem. This is how we have to solve the problem using Kirchhoff's laws. Important points you have to remember in solving Kirchhoff's laws means, if current is in same direction, important points you have to remember here. If current is same direction of your loop, if current is in same direction of your loop, take minus I into R. Else plus IR you have to take. These two observations for current. For voltage, if voltage rise means, if voltage rise, plus V. If voltage fall, minus V. Okay. These two observations we have made in Kirchhoff's law. Then next, Norton's Thevenin's theorem. So in Thevenin's theorem, Thevenin's theorem is all about converting the complete circuit into simple voltage source in series with resistance, across which you will be connecting load resistor. This is about Thevenin's theorem. One circuit will be given to you. That complete circuit we have to convert into this equivalent circuit. So that equivalent circuit will be consisting of one voltage source in series with one resistance, okay, across which load resistor will be connected, and our aim will be identifying the load current. This is our final step in Thevenin's theorem. So that current will be given by IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Okay. So here we need to find VTH and we will be finding RTH. RL will be given in the problem all the time. Okay. So we'll be calculating VTH and RTH. Then using these two values, we'll be calculating the current. This what we will do in Thevenin's theorem. Okay. We'll take same circuit for better understanding. This circuit is there. Okay, 6 ohm, 5 volt. This is 8 ohm. This is 5 ohm. So here he'll be mentioning load resistor. Find the current across 6 ohm. Find current across 6 ohm using Thevenin's he will be mentioning. So in that case, what we have to do? Now we understood that the given problem we have to solve using Thevenin's theorem. So across which resistor he has given in the problem, first that we have to note down carefully. So he has mentioned 6 ohm. So here in the circuit where is 6 ohm connected, that we have to identify first. So here it is connected. It means across this we have to solve this circuit using Thevenin's theorem. It means this resistor will be your load resistor. This resistor will become load resistor. Okay, so RL is equal to 6 ohm. So while solving the problems using Thevenin's theorem, we have certain steps. We have to follow those steps one by one and we have to solve the problem. First of all, we should know that what we have to do to this circuit. This complete circuit we have to convert into this simple circuit. RL, RTH, VTH. This complete circuit we have to convert into this circuit. That is our aim. After converting, we have to calculate IL. Okay. So for that, first we have to identify load resistor, which is load resistor. After identifying the load resistor, we have to remove that load resistor from the circuit. Then we have to redraw. This is the procedure. In this way, we have to solve the circuit. Okay. So here, from the problem, we have come to know that 6 ohm is the load resistor. So we have to remove that load resistor from the diagram and we have to redraw the circuit. So this is how we have to solve the problem. So remove that. We have to remove that completely from the circuit diagram and we have to redraw the circuit diagram once again. This is the step. In this way only we have to solve the problem. So this is 10 volt, this is 5 volt, this is 5 ohm, this is 8 ohm. Okay. After removing the load resistor and redrawing the circuit, what we have to do? This is the required step. The next step is we have to identify the branch currents using Kirchhoff's laws. This is the next step. So here how many loops are there? Only one loop is there. One loop means only one current will be available. Okay. So you can directly solve this without applying the KVL also. So here total voltage will be 15. Total resistance is how much? 13. Therefore I is equal to 15 divided by 13. So you'll be getting the current. That will be the branch current which will be flowing here. Then next, after finding the current, we need to find out VTH. To find the VTH, we have to we have to assume that VTH is connected in place of RL. We have removed the RL. Okay. So in that place only we have to assume that VTH is connected. So this is like this VTH. So in this place we have to assume that VTH is connected. You have to consider VTH in place of RL. After that, we have to select any one loop which is containing VTH. Either this loop you can consider or you can consider this loop. After considering any one loop, I'll consider this loop. So this is 10 volt, this is 5 ohm. Okay. So here apply KVL. So 10 minus 5I minus VTH is equal to 0. So VTH is equal to 10 minus 5 into I. I is how much? 15 by 13 you'll be getting here. 13 so 1.11 you will get. So then 5 into 1.11. So like this. After solving, then next you have to find out RTH. To find out the RTH, again we have to consider RTH in place of RL only. Where you have removed RL, in that place only you have to consider that RTH is connected. So like this. So here you have to assume that RTH is connected like this. So 5 ohm, 8 ohm, 5 volt, 10 volt. So here. So once here, one important thing you have to note on that while calculating the RTH, we have to short circuit the voltage sources which are available in the circuit. This is voltage source, we have to short circuit it like this. We have to remove that voltage source. So here like this. So we have to short circuit all the voltage sources. This will not be there. This is the procedure. So after short circuiting, only resistors will be available. Using series parallel resistance technique, you can find the total resistance. So here RTH will be, assume that current is where you have connected load resistor here. So you have to, it is nothing but you are seeing the circuit from this side. It means current is flowing from this part only. So from here current is going, one is going here, another is going here. So these two will be in parallel. So RTH is equal to 5 parallel 8. It means 5 into 8 divided by 5 plus 8. 40 divided by 13. 3.1 ohm you will get. So this is how you have to calculate RTH. Now you have VTH and you have RTH. You can directly calculate the load current. IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. VTH you'll be getting, assume that you have got 5 point, or sorry 6.2, just assume. Then RTH you got 3.1. RL, now RL we have to consider from the problem only, given problem. Here RL has given 6 ohm, so that we have to substitute here. RL is equal to 6. Finally you will be getting the answer. This is how we have to solve the problem. Okay, important here while solving the Thevenin's problem is, first we have to identify load resistor from the given problem. Identify load resistor, we have to identify load resistor which is given in the problem. Then after identifying we have to remove that, or you can say open circuit. After identifying load resistor, remove that or open circuit that and redraw the circuit. Then using KCL KVL, find branch currents. Then next find VTH across RL only. Then find RTH across RL only. The important thing is short circuit voltage sources which are available in the circuit diagram. Then next substitute the values in the formulae. You have to substitute the values in the formula. IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. This is how we have to solve the problem. The difference between Thevenin's and Norton's is only one difference. You know that complete Thevenin circuit is converted into equivalent voltage source in series with resistor. This is Thevenin circuit. But Norton's complete circuit is converted into equivalent current source in parallel with the resistor, load resistor, across which will be connected. So the current source is nothing but IN, Norton current, and the resistor is connected in parallel is equivalent Norton's resistance. RN stands for Norton, across which RL will be connected, and our aim will be calculating IL. So for this, IL will be equal to IN RN divided by RN plus RL. So this is the formula for Norton's. Whatever the procedure you have followed in Thevenin, same you have to follow in Norton's, except only one difference. What is that difference is, there will be identifying the load register, load register. After identifying load register, what we were doing, we were open circuiting that, but here we have to short circuit. We have to short circuit the load resistor and redraw. This is the only difference. Remaining everything is same. How to short circuit? See here. Here you were identifying the load resistance and you were removing. But in Norton's, what you have to do? You have to identify the load resistor. After identifying, you have to short that load resistor like this. Okay. There we were removing completely, but here we have to short circuit that. After short circuiting, we have to mark that IN current will be flowing in this path all the time. This is the only difference. Remaining everything is same. To calculate current, then you have to find VTH, then you have to find RTH, and here at the end formula will be changed. This formula we have to use. This is how we have to solve the problems on Norton's, right? So with this, we have completed the revision of first unit. Okay, along with these are the important, what are the important topics are there from the exam point of view, those only I am covering in revisions. Okay, along with this, so many topics are there, like registers in series, parallel, current division rule, all are there. Those you can study on your own, no problem. But important, once again I have brushed up. Only one more topic is left, that is superposition, that I will cover in next class. Before starting the second and third units revision, I will be starting the I will be covering the superposition, then we'll start the units of third, fourth, second and fifth. Okay, so with this I will complete revision of unit 1. I hope everybody understood. If you have any doubts, any queries, make a list of that and send me through WhatsApp in the group. I'll be addressing there only. And along yesterday I have sent you assignment questions also. Along with the assignment questions, I have sent you one link, that is Google form link. That is my Google form link, where you have to upload your assignment in PDF format. Write the assignments wherever you want, you write in which, if you want to write in textbook, if you want to write in notebook, you write in notebook. If you want to write in A4 sheets also, you can write. You can write wherever you want as per your convenience, but make sure that while writing the assignment, at the top we have to write your name, branch and roll number, and in the middle also you have to write your name, roll number, branch, and at the bottom of the page also you have to write your name, roll number and branch. This should be written in all the pages. This will be written at each page of your assignment notebook. If your assignment notebook consists of 10 pages, all 10 pages should be written with those name, branch and roll numbers. Okay, this is how we have to write the assignments. Write all the assignments and submit that within the given time, and try to make only one PDF. Okay, if your assignment consists of 10 pages, means scan all the 10 pages and make only one file, only one consolidated PDF file, then send it to me. There is a option written in that Google form. If you open that Google form, there you have to write your name, you have to write your roll number, you have to write your branch, then one option will be there, assignment file. There you have to upload only PDF file. It will take only PDF files. Okay, then I think everybody knows how to make the PDF files using your mobile phone. Cam scanner software will be there in your mobile phone. Using cam scanner, prepare PDF file, then upload in that. Try to submit the assignments before the given time. Okay, and for your convenient, I have given one template format also. In that way you have to submit the assignment. If your assignments will not contain roll numbers and branch, your assignments will not be accepted. Okay, each page of your assignment should have that. Even if you miss single page also, it will not be accepted. Okay, so write everything properly, try to submit. So now I'll be signing off. So take care, stay at home, stay safe, don't go outside. Start preparing from today onwards, because once lockdown is lifted, direct you will be having lab exams, so immediately followed by your theory exams. That is why I'm telling, don't waste the time. Start preparing from now itself. If not started, if started, very good. If not started, start preparing from now itself. Okay, for all the subjects. Now I'll be signing off. Tata, bye bye, take care.